Hi, this is Vidya. Today I'm going to be making a card using some Altenew stamp sets, Peony Bouquet and Label Love. The card base that I'm using is Nina Solar White and I've cut it down to 4 inches wide by 5.5 inches long. I'm just going to be using the smaller flowers from the stamp set Peony Bouquet, and I'm going to be using all 4 images, the 3 shadings and the outline stamp as well. All outline stampings in this card is going to be done using VersaFine Onyx Black. It is a really crisp black ink. And for the flowers, the 3 shades that I'm using are Sweet Blush, Berry Sorbet and Pure Poppy. Make sure that you clean off your stamp between every impression so that you do not transfer ink onto the cardstock directly or onto your fingers and then onto the cardstock. I already ruined 2 pieces of cardstock because I transferred ink accidentally onto the cardstock through my hands. I've used an absorber and this is a very quick and effective cleaning method. I've already cut down masks for my stamping and it is really useful when you're doing a single layered card like this. I'm trying to arrange the flowers in threes and I'm also going to be doing the same with my leaves. With my arrangement, I'm trying to strike a balance between the left side of the vase and the right side of the vase. If your arrangement becomes too heavy on one side, the card will not look symmetric. So make sure that you don't leave too many white spaces on either side of the arrangement. For my leaves, I am using 2 colors, Limeade Ice and Simply Chartreuse. Again, I am trying to find the perfect position for my leaves so that it appears balanced. Another major point that I want to keep in mind when I am stamping is to make sure that the base of my arrangement is as narrow as possible. Because I am assuming that my vase is going to have a narrow opening, and if my arrangement becomes too big, it will be difficult to accommodate the arrangement within the vase. So I am making sure the base does not have too wide a stamping area. Again, I've stamped the branches or the leaf branches in threes so that it appears balanced on all sides. Once you've done with the outline stamping, make sure you clean it off and then you can do your filling in with the solid image. So that is going to be the final arrangement. Once you've done all the stamping, you can remove the washi tape holding down your cardstock. Make sure that you hold it down and peel it off gently, otherwise you are going to rip your paper. As you can see, the base isn't too wide and it can quite easily fit a vase on the bottom. I've cut my cardstock down to 3 inches wide and 5 inches long. Here I'm stretching my very small vase stamp set and I'm going to be making it a bigger vase. I'm using the letter I from Milo's ABCs to create the top for this vase, and I'm rubbing off the bottom edge from the vase on either side by masking and cleaning it off with an absorber. This is mostly trial and error, so I'm not stamping it directly onto my card base. And once I get a good impression, I will cut it down and then use it on my card base so that any mistakes do not affect the card. So I'm using another piece, as you can see, which is more perfect. I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to color it in brown. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to apply some multimedia matte and stick it onto my card base. I'm going to mount this panel onto a piece of Fabriano L Air cardstock in soft grey. As an added embellishment, I'm going to add a piece of or a strip of gold cardstock on either side of my stamped panel. I'm sticking it down using some bread liner tape. The red liner tape is really strong adhesive, especially in humid conditions like India. Normal tape runners do not work and it is really hard to come by score tape. So I would recommend red liner tape for people who are living in humid countries. Make sure that the edge along both the sides is even. You have a little bit of wiggle room with the red liner tape unless you press it down firmly. Once it is done, you can paste or you can press your card panel onto your card base. Make sure that you align the edge, the top edge and the bottom edge of your stamped panel with your card base. Press it down slowly once you are satisfied with the arrangement. Make sure that there is even spacing on either side of the arrangement. Once it is done, now you're going to be stamping your sentiment. I'm going to be using the You Are Awesome stamp from Label Love. I'm going to be heat embossing this in clear, and once it is done, your card is done. Thank you for watching. Bye.